Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Omnifactory. And in the last episode we got our creative tank, finally, after so long. And so yeah, this now begins, I guess, the second half of this playthrough. As you can see, the base has grown quite a lot since we started this. And I've more or less just kept adding like the chunk squares. And it's been pretty flat, pretty boring. I do like the block choice that I made, but it's time to change things up now that we have the tank. So the tank obviously allows us for infinite fluids, which does away with a lot of the infrastructure we've already built. I think this is a good opportunity to start changing things up, so I want to start building things with like actual walls and ceilings now and paying attention to aesthetics. So I decided to keep using the concrete, and we're going to use light grey, grey, white and black. I've also for the first time started using these architecture like cut blocks where you can like shape them in the architect's saw bench, but I need to be a bit careful with that because if I go overboard it's never ever going to get finished. So anyways, yeah, the general plan I have in my head is going to be like a main central corridor, and then we're going to have different levels for different rooms. So we'll probably have like the draconic energy ball in the center, we'll have a room for assembly lines, a room for 82 crafting, a room for fluid solidification into all the different ingots and things like that for resource generation. Probably have a farming area. We'll still have to keep the tree farm, I think. We're gonna have to have fluid storage as well, with fluid storage buses on creative tanks, because obviously we're still going to need fluids. Just we won't have to have like oil distillation or anything like that. That all becomes irrelevant. We'll have to have a room for microminer missions as well. We'll probably have to like passive those, at least some of them. So yeah, there's still a lot to build, and I haven't quite figured all of this out yet. I just wanted to lay out a general plan and choose the blocks nice and early so that we kind of know what we're working with. As I'm watching this back though, I'm not quite sure on the flooring choice. I might change it out to a white, but white is a bit boring, so yeah, the floor probably is going to get changed, but I do like the way the walls are turning out, and I do like this pillar design, so that's probably going to continue going forward. So yeah, I think the first thing I'd like to do is set up a room for fluid solidification. Since we're producing more creative tanks, we can... The plan was to line these up in one of these rooms, probably 3 blocks from the wall. And then we'll have like a row of creative tanks, and that will go into fluid solidifiers. I think we'll do this at LUV. So then we'll have fluid solidifiers, and then those will go into drawers. Then we'll connect the drawer network up and put a storage bus on there, and that gives us infinite of nearly any item that has a fluid. In fact, these will have to come off the ground one more. Actually, as well, that reminds me, I don't know if I want to change up the drawer design. I might change this to a different colour. Now that we're redesigning our base, we might as well change it up. I do like this drawer design though, this black and bone block. I think it works quite well, but maybe I'll try some different options and we'll see what looks best. Okay, I have a couple of different drawer options here. I just used some of the blocks that we've been using around the base, and there's some that I do like more than others. This black one I think is going to be too dark. I don't really like this, so I think this is ruled out. This one I'm quite liking. This is the white concrete with the light grey border, and I think this will be quite easy to see things inside as well. Because the drawers we have, if I take a drawer that the ones we were using anyway, one of these. So this is the ones we had like all over the place before. Whenever you put items in this, especially if it's dark items, it's kind of a bit hard to see. Whereas if it's on a whiter background, it's usually a good contrast. But yeah, I suppose this is also an option as well, just to keep the drawers we have. But right now I'm leaning towards this one. I think this is going to look the best, but the plan is to have the fluid solidifiers above this in a row just like this, and then we'll have the creative tanks on top, something like that, and then we'll stack these. I'm not quite sure how I want to lay these out, if I want to have like direct access to these, maybe just start the next row like here facing it, just to try and reduce some lag, because with all these drawers it's going to be quite a bit of lag. I know there's the concealment key so that you can hide the visuals of the drawer, which will help quite a bit. Or maybe we leave like 3 blocks or 5 blocks in between, and we'll just go really long with it instead. Like maybe we start the next one well, what would it be, like here? And leave 3 blocks in between. And have the next row of fluid solidifiers like right here. That way at least there's a little gap in between it. But this window might have to go, and I might just have to have flat walls here just because of all the mess back there. Because we're obviously gonna have to cable this up and also hide the creative tanks like behind this. So yeah, we're gonna have to have like signalum cable running along these to power them with a CEF on the end. And yeah, I don't really know if I want to have that showing. Like if we're gonna put all this effort in, we might as well hide cabling. So this window might get raised, or it might just come out completely. Another thing we have to consider is we're going to have like some cases where there's going to be 2 machines. So like for example, if we want to passive, I don't know, like wire, like copper wire for some reason. If we wanted copper wire, we can't just straight fluid solidify this, we have to wire mill it. So we would want a fluid solidifier into a wire mill, then into the drawer. Which means it's going to add an extra block on top of this as well. So I may do those separately, maybe like over like this side. And we'll build another platform out this and then have 2 more rows for those. Oh yeah, that sound you just heard there was the celestial manipulator. Is that what it's called? This thing from Draconic Evolution. There's the recipe there. It does take a dragon egg. I was going to make one of these earlier, but they're quite expensive. It takes some awakened draconium, a dragon egg, but I have a rain sensor hooked up from Draconic Evolution as well, so when it starts raining, it sends a redstone signal and clears the rain. And I was getting really fed up with the rain in here. It seems to rain all the time in this world. And this is also a pretty cool block. You can actually like change the time of day as well. Like, you can set it to any time of day you want, and there's that really annoying sound, but yeah, it like changes the whole sky. It's pretty cool. And yeah, it's now day. So yeah, I'm gonna figure this out, and I'm gonna go with this drawer for now. We might change it out later, although it's gonna be kind of difficult to change it out later. So I guess I should make my mind up right now. It's between this one and this one. But yeah, I'm gonna set out a row of fluid solidifiers, and then we'll start to work on this drawer network for resource generation. Okay then, guys, I've been building this for about an hour or so. I've just been messing around with some blocks, and I think I've come up with something that we can use. And I'm still not sure about this floor. I think this floor is going to get changed, but that's easy enough to change with the exchanging gadget. Although the rest of it I'm quite liking. I do like the white ceiling. I think I'll maybe make the floor a bit darker. But yeah, I'm going to have stairs going up to this level here. I'm not sure exactly where I'll start the stairs, but yeah, I tried to keep the shapes interesting without having flat walls. But yeah, I've set out a basic layout of how I want all the fluid solidifiers. I'm going to have them on both sides. And I decided to go with this drawer here. So it's it's just grey, the grey concrete with the white front, or the white face. And I'm going to be using compacting drawers for this, just since it gives us the block plus the nugget plus the ingot. For most of the stuff anyway. And then to connect them all up, I'll just have a drawer controller on the end of each line. And I think this should be enough. It's basically 12 blocks is the limit from the controller, so okay, maybe not. This is going to be too long. We'll have to move this to the middle, but that's okay. Instead, we'll just put it in the center where this pillar is. So we can put the drawer controller right here and then put a storage bus on there. And it'll be, I guess, the same for here and then here again. So yeah, and then I talked about the one with the extra height on it. This is going to be in these middle areas here, these middle sections. So we're going to have the tank into fluid solidifier into whatever machine it is, whether it's a lathe or a wire mill or a cluster mill, something like that, to make the different components passively. And these will just wire through the floor, since we won't have anything below this. There's going to be wiring space below here. So yeah, I think functionally this is all figured out. I still have to connect the wires up. Like, for now I'm just going to run cable straight up to this new part of the base. And then eventually this will all be like self-sufficient and we won't have to rely on this bottom half. But for now, we're just going to be transferring things over and building as we need it. So yeah, that's probably enough building for just now I want to start hooking this all up. So I want to get at least this row or this wall of fluid solidifiers up and get some of the most basic components transferred over. So how do I want to wire that? I guess it doesn't really matter where we put the wire up. It just has to all connect eventually. So I suppose I'll start just here in the corner and we'll wire this down to the floor. We'll also need power as well as the ME connection, so I'll run the power conduit up here as well. Okay, so I've run a connection up for power and the applied energistic system. It's just running up the corner here. And then I've set up this system to give us some fluids. So we're going to be transferring these things over one by one. So like this is just a fluid extractor hooked up to the CEF for this line. And then we're going to be using these fluid tanks from Ender.io just to fill it with some liquid. So like for this one, we have iron in here. So we'll put it in our creative tank. And then we can wrench this, put a block mold in here, and this gives us the iron, and then we'll auto output that to the drawer. And we'll fill the drawer as well. And then yeah, we should observe our iron count going up. I put a storage bus on the drawer controller in the middle of each one as well. And yeah, so that's iron. I don't really know how I want to organize this, if I want to even make an attempt at that, because like if we miss something and then we have to like shift the whole roll over, I don't think that's going to be worth doing. I don't think I'm going to bother trying to put these in any sort of alphabetical order or anything crazy like that. I'm just going to be adding them as we need them, more or less. But I'll add a few of the basic ones that I can think of right now. So there's raw iron, I guess. Block mold. Wrench the tank. Wrench the machine. Auto output and set the drawer. And we have to basically do this for every ingot in the game. And then once we're done with the tanks, we can clear them and then add them back to this tank and then melt the next ingot. We can even get neutronium this way as well, which is quite nice. I might make some neutronium tools. I think the neutronium is actually the best tool you can get. So yeah, now we have infinite neutronium. I think I'm just going to like basically comb through this base and then take down the stuff that we don't need. And I think I'll start from this side and then work my way back. So this blast furnace, dark solarium, that doesn't have well, it does have a liquid. Okay, nice. That simplifies things a lot. So osmium, dark solarium, draconium. These three can be solidified so that all of these blast furnaces can go. Okay, so now that these have a spot in the drawer, we can go and take down all those blast furnaces. And this should hopefully reduce some of the lag as well. Not that this world is actually particularly bad. I've actually managed to keep lag to a minimum. I only get a few bumps here and there in terms of TPS. The tick time seems okay, it's just I get one or two little spikes here and there. But this should definitely help with the lag. Oh, that's so satisfying, being able to just tear down all these blast furnaces. I do have a lot of mining to do though. Yeah, so next up is Inderium, Vibrant Alloy, and Energetic. And all these things, oh yeah, I forgot about these as well. In fact, no, we can even add this to the wall. We can just do Solidified EXP. So this can even get taken down. And then processes like this for Night Slime. Unfortunately, we can't just fluid solidify night slime, it has to be the chemical reactor. But what we can do is just put a creative tank next to this instead of supplying it with the titanium ingots. We can just give it titanium fluid, and then I'll add like a fluid wall up there as well. That's something I actually forgot about. We'll have to figure out where we want our fluids specifically to be. So we'll need to put somewhere just creative tanks and then fluid storage buses on there, so we can send the fluids wherever we need. I'll have to have a think about where that goes, but for now I'm just going to keep adding to this wall and I'll keep tearing things down over here. Mostly it'll be blast furnaces being teared out. This oil rig can go, all the oil distillation can go. I'm not sure I'm going to get it all finished today, all of the tear down, because there's a lot to do. But we'll at least get it started. Okay, so I've got spent a bit of time with the cleanup here. It doesn't actually look like I've done that much, but there's quite a bit torn down. Although maybe I have, looking back at it, and maybe you'll see side by side. But yeah, I've basically been combing through and taking out all the stuff we don't need. And I've replaced creative tanks with fluid interface. Well, the other way about actually. The fluid interfaces with the creative tanks in most of these places. Again, all of this will be torn out eventually. I just don't have the infrastructure built up there yet to rebuild it. And so for now, we can just use the creative tanks as a temporary measure. Most of the on-demand crafting though I've left, like for like small gears and medium pipe, things like that. All the circuit passives is all still here. Yeah, I've started working my way along here. These drawers here are eventually going to go. They just have far too many items. I don't know exactly what I'll do with those. I'll probably set up a storage room up there, and I'll use packing tape to move those drawers, but they're going to stay here for now with the storage bus. This before was to make sterilized growth medium, which obviously we just have tanked now. I have a little area for that. I'll show you that in a bit. Yeah, so these are just missing drawers. There's an assembly machine, something for canning, and then yeah, these fluid canners are for all of these recipes here. So like the sulfuric one, the water, nitrogen dioxide, sulfuric acid, helium, and carbon. These are all staying for now for on-demand crafts for the empowered recipes. And then this is the lava crystal, or the compressed lava crystal blocks. That's going to stay. I've just got a creative tank of lava there though. And then round here, I think this is where the distillation tower was. I just ripped that out. The pyrolysis oven, that's gone. This thing here is for arsenic. I'm going to keep this for now. It's just another extruder for large pipes. Dilithium, this has been changed to a creative tank of deuterium now, but this is going to stay for dilithium. The glowstone elevation units, and oh, hold on, what is this? Oh, this is to make black quartz. Okay, I see. Okay, that'll stay. Yeah, and then I got up to basically here. So next we have the polytetrafluoroethylene sheets. These can be fluid solidified, so this can all get torn down. Let's turn this off first. In fact, I'll just break the machines. It doesn't even matter. It's been so satisfying ripping all this out. But yeah, it's quite tedious. Even though like these things don't actually produce chlorine, or the primary producer of chlorine, when I get to a fluid like the deuterium or the chlorine or the hydrogen, carbon dioxide, whatever, most of these I have a bucket of. So I'll just take the bucket out and keep it in my inventory. So that's chlorine, that can get broken. That just voided all that chlorine, but it doesn't even matter anymore. Carbon dioxide, I think I already have that on the wall, so that can get deleted. Hydrochloric acid, I already have that as well. And this we don't need either. So yeah, I've got this wall on the opposite side for just fluids. And I have all these on extract only. So this exposes all of these fluids to the ME system, and we can send these basically wherever we want. So then yeah, just come in here, take the chlorine, make sure we don't have it already. Add it to here, put the bucket away. And I think that was the only one. Oh wait, no, we need polytetrafluoroethylene as well, so I'll add that. And then we have to also fluid solidify that into sheets. So that will go here, and then we'll need a regular drawer. Wrench the tank, and then this will get a sheet mold instead. And then we'll fill the drawer as usual. I still haven't actually upgraded these drawers, that's something I'll do. Yeah, I'll have to order up some upgrades. And actually that reminds me, I should add emerald, since all these upgrades cost emeralds. So we can just melt an emerald, and then we'll get the liquid here. Oh, looks like we actually can't get the fluid. Or we can get the fluid, but it doesn't fluid solidify. That's a bit surprising actually, I didn't realise that. Okay. So that'll have to, it looks like we won't be getting emeralds this way. Well, I'll still order a couple of hundred drawer upgrades, and then we'll upgrade every single one of these drawers. But yeah, this wall is growing pretty quickly, and it looks pretty cool. I still haven't decided what block I want to put behind here. Or behind the tanks, I mean. I don't think I like this, like, white. It's a bit too jarring. So this'll probably get changed. But yeah, let's keep going with the teardown. So where were we? Round about here. So this is what? Chloroform. I think I have some of that. Okay, maybe not. We'll take a bucket, but we'll just grab a few buckets. So that's chloroform. We can take this out. Remove all this conduit as well. Tetrafluoroethylene. I don't think I have that. Although, is that used for anything? Not really. Just polytetrafluoroethylene, so we probably don't need to keep that about. But things like hydrofluoric. In fact, do we even need hydrofluoric? No, that's just used to make other fluids, so not really. I'll grab a bucket just in case. Even fluorine now, because I've replaced the well, fluorine we were using before to make the nickel plasma in this reactor. However, wait, did I turn this off? Yeah, I turned this off, and I replaced this with a creative tank of nickel plasma to fuel our turbines. So theoretically, we can get as many of these turbines as we want. Ow. Every time. I do that every single time. So yeah, we don't even need to really keep that around. So yeah, all this can get broken. What is this? Fluorine oxygen? I don't think I have oxygen on the wall yet. Okay, let's see. What is all this mess here? Magnesium, just a bunch of dusts. This is for electrolyzing black granite. Do we need any of the products from this? And electrolyzing biotite. This can give us a bunch of dusts and also the fluids. Well, the fluids now we can trash. We definitely don't need the fluids. So I'll replace this output with a fluid trash. And then I guess I'll keep this around just for now. And same with this. This is giving us items which we don't have access to otherwise. And the quartz, all this can stay, I think. Superconductor wire can stay. Although this can be changed with a bucket of molten nether star. Or a creative tank of molten nether star, I mean. There we go, that should save some luminescence even. And draconium, this can stay as is. But we don't need this in the interface anymore. I think all these blast furnaces though can go, apart from the wafers and probably the crystal chips, or the crystal CPUs. We'll have to keep those around, I think. Hopefully you can see here what the plan is. If you have any suggestions or anything, let me know. I still haven't decided on the flooring. This is almost certainly going to be changed, because I know I don't like this light grey concrete. But like the rest of it, I do quite like the light ceiling with the dark walls. And then we'll have to fill this in as well. With what block, I'm not exactly sure. But we're not going to keep these windows around. And yeah, the plan is to have this like middle central walkway clear, and then we'll have like the same on both sides. So I'll wall this off as well and have mirror this on the other side. And then we'll probably have like a big rounded roof. And I might copy this corridor on this side as well and make it all symmetrical. Who knows? I'm not sure. There's still a lot to build. And we'll have to find somewhere for the draconic energy ball. And we can actually also upgrade this to the next tier. The tier 8. I noticed this was full as well. So we have 2.14 trillion. Just thinking about this some more, we're going to need a space for these processing arrays. I might put that on like this side of, like on this layer. But like this side of the corridor. And then we'll also need somewhere for deep mob learning as well. We're going to have to move all of these simulation chambers up. So yeah, there's still quite a lot of layout to figure out here. But luckily we have things like effortless building, which has been a really big help. And the building gadgets, those are really nice as well for this sort of stuff. Well, I remember I'll add oxygen on here as well. But yeah, I think the next few episodes at least, there won't be any sort of progression. We're basically going to be converting all the old systems to use the new fluids and basically rebuilding the whole base. So I don't think we'll get many quests done in the next few episodes. But we are like getting there. There's a few quests we have to pick up, but we'll do this at the end. Like, it's just stuff that I've glossed over. In fact, I even have the capacitor bank. I've never held the basic capacitor. Into the microverse, there's a few here. I need to go back to the moon and get moon turf. But we've been to the moon already, so the mid game section. There is this nuclear section at the bottom. I'm still not sure what I'm going to do about that. That'll probably just get cleaned up at the end. And then in late game, we're just missing the Aquada reactor, the ultimate material, and this solar whatever chest piece. And then yeah, there's a couple in progression as well for the jetpacks that I skipped over. I didn't make these. This should be easy to clean up. And then yeah, the real quests are in the end game tab, which is to get Infinity Catalyst, then Creative RF, then Infinity, then Vending. But yeah, for the time being, I've got a lot of teardown and replacement to do. So I also want to say there won't be an episode tomorrow, as I'm going to be busy with real life stuff, with work and stuff like that. Yeah, hopefully I'll be able to get out something on Friday, and maybe by then I'll have made some more progress on some of this cleanup. But yeah, again, let me know what you think about the base changes, any block ideas you have or anything like that. And I think this is where we're going to leave it for today. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you on Friday for some more Omnifactory.